Welcome to episode 582 of AI Brief. Today's deep dive is, it's looking at a massive shift in how the industry is handling its own velocity.
Yeah, velocity is definitely the right word for it today.
Right, because today, over 1,000 frontier AI staffers are basically begging for a brake pedal. Then we are going to look at Mark Zuckerberg's WSJ op-ed, where he is, pushing superintelligence for absolutely everyone. And finally, the UAE crossing a major line by integrating an AI court platform.
It's just the central tension running through everything today is this fierce tug of war. Like on one side, you have the relentless acceleration of AI development, and on the other, this sudden, urgent desire from the people building it to control its speed.
That is honestly the perfect place to start our first story, because the very people building the fastest AI in the world are the ones asking for a way to slow it down. Over 1,000 staffers from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and Meta signed this Pacing the Frontier letter.
Yeah, which is a huge deal.
It is. And the specific fear driving this is, it's automated AI research. That's a term that keeps popping up. Basically, they are terrified of models pushing beyond our ability to understand or control them. It is like, imagine engineering a hypercar, right?
Okay.
You pour billions into the engine, you take it to the test track, floor it, and only then realize you forgot to invent the brake pedal.
That is a terrifying analogy, but it's accurate. Though I do want to clarify for everyone listening, this isn't them demanding a complete pause.
Oh, right, like the 6-month pause from last year.
Exactly. It's not that. It's an international plea to give governments and labs the mere option to slow down. The vibe shift here is what's important.
Yeah.
This isn't outside academics yelling anymore.
It's coming from inside the house.
Literally inside the house. You've got Anthropic co-founders like Jack Clark and Chris Olah signing it. And it was even officially endorsed on X by both OpenAI and Anthropic.
Which is wild. But, while all these employees are seeking pacing tools to manage risk, we transition to our second story, where Meta's CEO thinks the answer is the exact opposite.
Right, he just wants to flood the zone.
Exactly. Mark Zuckerberg published this Wall Street Journal op-ed, and he is just assuming superintelligence is arriving in the, quote, next few years.
Which is a very aggressive timeline to just casually drop in an op-ed.
I mean, seriously. But his argument is that extreme concentration of power is the real danger, not the AI itself. He says invention, not automation, will be the top contribution. But I have to ask you to weigh in on this contradiction here.
Yeah, let's hear it.
He questions why anyone who thinks AI will erase jobs would keep building it, right? But then he predicts more jobs in the future via AI-driven entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How does that square up?
It's definitely a leap. He is leaning on the idea that lowering the barrier to entry creates whole new industries. But honestly, the most glaring thing about Zuckerberg's op-ed is what he didn't say.
What do you mean?
He never once says the words open source.
Wait, really? Not even once?
Not once. And that's huge because Meta has been drifting from their Llama-era playbook. Alexandra Wang claims open models are coming, but we are seeing a shift to open weights with a lot of restrictions.
So it's not truly open source anymore.
Right, because Meta's true superpower here isn't necessarily having the smartest model, it is distribution.
Putting frontier AI into apps that billions of people already open daily, like Instagram and WhatsApp.
Exactly. Why worry about open source licenses when you can just put superintelligence directly into the chat windows half the planet already uses?
That makes total sense. So speaking of distributing AI into every facet of our lives, let's pivot to the most high-stakes practical application imaginable.
The judicial system.
Yes. The law. The UAE Vice President Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed just unveiled a plan to integrate the world's first AI court platform.
This is such a massive line to cross.
It really is. They are doing a phased 18-month rollout starting this September, and it is handling tasks from initial case filings all the way through to final judgment.
And just to detail exactly what this system will do, it's going to read case files, serve as legal precedents, draft the official documents, and provide actual legal analysis.
That is a lot of heavy lifting for an algorithm.
It is. Now, the official line is that humans will validate the output and judges make the final rulings. But the tech is taking on massive analytical weight.
Which is where I have to push back, because this crosses a very dangerous sort of Minority Report type line.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's an easy sell for clearing bureaucratic paperwork, right? Everyone hates backlogs. But seeping into actual legal recommendations that shape human rulings, No other country has been willing to test that boundary.
Because of automation bias, right?
Exactly. If a tired judge gets a flawlessly formatted 50-page legal recommendation at 4 in the afternoon, they aren't going to fight it. They're just going to rubber stamp it.
Right, it's like when your GPS tells you to turn into a lake, and you just kind of assume the machine knows better.
Exactly. It's a huge risk.
Yeah.
So those are the major structural shifts today, but there is a whole other layer of rapid-fire news happening right now. And I think you have the rundown for us on everything else in the industry today.
I do, yeah. Let's actually shift gears and take a slightly slower look at the rest of the board because there is a lot of movement. First up, Elon Musk's SpaceX AI is aggressively pushing their timelines.
Okay, what are they doing?
They are launching Grok 4.6 on August 7th. But the crazy part is that Grok 4.7 is following just weeks later.
Wow. Weeks.
Yeah, and Musk is claiming 4.7 is better in every way. Pushing major upgrades that fast is almost unheard of.
It just shows the sheer compute they are throwing at it.
Exactly. Meanwhile, in Washington, there is some serious political maneuvering. OpenAI and Anthropic are reportedly pressing lawmakers to subject their rivals to strict model reviews.
Just ahead of the regulatory deadlines, right?
Yep, right ahead of Trump's August 1st deadline.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like pulling the ladder up behind them once they've already climbed it.
Classic regulatory capture.
Exactly. And the money flowing into infrastructure is still just staggering. Recursive Intelligence, which only came out of stealth 2 months ago, just inked a $410 million AWS cloud deal.
410 million, just 2 months out of stealth.
I know, it's wild. And that money is specifically to scale self-improving systems.
Tying right back to that fear of automated research from our first story.
Exactly. And speaking of research fears, Anthropic's Mythos preview model just did something pretty intense. They let it run for 60 hours, and it successfully halved the strength of a quantum-resistant algorithm.
Wait, hold on. Halved the strength? That sounds bad.
It is definitely a wake-up call. I mean, it doesn't threaten deployed systems yet, but spending 60 hours grinding away at advanced cryptography proves these models have deep analytical persistence now.
Right. They can just sit there and think for days.
Yeah. And finally, on the efficiency side, Ant Group is releasing their Ling 3.0 flash model. It rivals systems 2 to 3 times its size, and they're open sourcing it next week.
Which just proves you don't always need a massive trillion-parameter behemoth. Efficiency matters just as much.
Totally.
All right, so bringing all these geopolitical developments down to your actual desk, let's get into today's trending AI tools. I have 7 tools here, and I'm going to give you a specific practical use case for each one.
Let's do it.
Number 1 is Flint AI. This is an open source command line tool. The use case here is for developers auditing your code base and catching obscure failures before you push updates live.
Always helpful to catch bugs early.
Definitely. Second is Granola for Apple Watch. You literally just tap your wrist and it instantly captures and structures in-person meeting notes.
Oh, I love that. No awkward typing during a coffee meeting.
Exactly. Third is Personal Computer. This is Perplexity's new local agentic system on Windows.
Let me stop you there. Agentic system. That means it takes action, right?
Right. It's not just a chatbot waiting for a prompt. The use case is automating tedious local desktop tasks directly on your machine. You tell it to organize your files and it just clicks around and does it locally.
Without uploading your sensitive stuff to the cloud.
Precisely. Fourth is Laguna S 2.1. This is Poolside's open-weight coding model. It has a massive 1 million token context window.
1 million tokens is huge for code.
It is. The use case is feeding massive entire code bases into that window for comprehensive debugging. It can see the whole puzzle at once.
That's incredible.
Number 5 is Pazi. This tool lets you do what they call vibe coding for your daily business operations.
Vibe coding.
Yeah, you basically just describe your workflows in plain English and you don't need to know traditional programming. The AI builds the operational logic for you.
Very cool.
6th is Paradigm. This is for your career. You type in a lofty career goal, and it generates a highly personalized, adaptive learning path to help you achieve it.
So it adjusts as you learn.
Exactly. It adapts to your progress. And finally, number 7 is Humanio. The use case here is skipping that obvious ChatGPT tone from your drafted email.
Oh, we all need that.
Right. It makes them read like a real human wrote them.
You know, thinking about those tools, the real magic is when you start stacking them. Like, as a practical angle for our listeners, you could use Granola on your watch to discreetly capture the notes from a meeting with your boss.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
And then you run those transcribed notes through Humanio. So the follow-up email you send your boss has all the perfect structure from the AI, but it sounds completely natural, like you just sat down and typed it yourself.
That is a brilliant workflow stack, and it's a perfect example of how fast this is all moving. Just to wrap up today's deep dive, the sheer velocity of the news today is something else. We've got engineers begging for pacing tools, Meta pushing superintelligence to everyone's phone, and the UAE handing judicial tasks to
There's a
algorithms.
lot to process.
It really is. So I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on today. If we are rapidly approaching self-improving AI that writes its own code, is it even mechanically possible to build a brake pedal for a machine that is fundamentally designed to accelerate itself?
That is definitely the question of the hour. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this deep dive valuable, please follow and share the podcast.
See you in the next episode.